Thank you for joining us. We're very excited. This is our first ever Saul after show. You, the fans, asked for it. It is my honor to be your host and guide through this fascinating new world. We settled on Talking Saul. Some people said Recall Saul or Better Talk Saul, but Talking Saul is the name, so I hope you're okay with that. You've just watched the Season 2 premiere of Better Call Saul, and if you haven't for whatever reason, and this is the end of your DVR recording and you haven't seen it yet, here's your spoiler warning. Pause right now. All right, you've been warned. There's a lot to talk about tonight. For starters, we didn't do this for Season 1, so we're going to try to cover as much as we can. We're also one episode closer to finding out how Jimmy McGill becomes Saul Goodman. We're going to learn a lot about Mike and the baseball card-loving yellow Hummer driving pill dealer. Also, who knew that scamming douche McCools into buying $50 tequila would be an aphrodisiac? And what does the light switch stand for? We put one here in the back of the set. There's a lot to talk about. We have a show packed full of exclusive interviews with cast and crew and an exclusive sneak peek of next week's all-new episode of Better Call Saul. My guest tonight, executive producer Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan, Kim herself, Ray Seahorn, and of course, Bob Odenkirk, Saul/Jimmy McGill. I am Chris Hardwick, and this is Talking Saul, the first one! Welcome to the show. Same set, new mugs, new mugs. You know, a lot of people, I get a lot of crap sometimes, like, oh, you just talk about other shows. Yeah, I do, because it's all about having a conversation, and enough fan base is built around the show, so we're here to help you process as much of it as we can. We want to hear from you guys. We're going to read your questions and comments, answer your phone calls. What do you want to know after watching tonight's episode, or even all of Season 1? You can tweet us at Better Call Saul, or call us toll-free at 1-844-728-5548. That's 1-844-SAUL-LIVE. We want you to have your say about what you've just seen. Also, go to TalkingSaul.com/SaulGood on your phone, tablet, or computer. And later in the show, you can vote in the polls in real time, and we're going to test your knowledge about tonight's episode in a Talking Saul live quiz. But now, I've talked way too much. These are my guests, Peter Gould, Vince Gilligan, Bob Odenkirk, Ray Seahorn, right here on the couch. Thank you. This is normally a three-person couch. Thank you for all squeezing in as awkwardly as possible. So let's get in. First of all, congratulations on the WGA win from the other night, Peter and Vince.
You should have brought the trophy. That's true.
Well deserved.
I mean, this is, I think, the feat that you were able to spin a show off, one of the most beloved television shows in history, and make it its own show and not repeat any of it. So can you just kind of walk us through how you got from Breaking Bad to Saul and the birth of Jimmy McGill?
We just didn't think about it too hard. No. We just sort of jumped off the cliff without thinking too. If I had thought long and hard about doing this, I don't think I would have done it. It was good that we just rolled right from the one show into the other.
I think we thought it was going to be easy. We thought we knew who this guy was, and we thought, you know, making a show about Saul Goodman, that'll be fun. That'll be lightweight after Walter White. And you know what? Yeah. It turned out to be damn hard.
It is really hard because you think you know where you're going. Well, the guy, you know, he's got the columns and he's got the Constitution on the wall behind him, and easy peasy. But no, it just dovetailing into the Breaking Bad era and not, you know, getting it all right and not getting it wrong, and it's just like it's some of the hardest writing we've ever done.
It's true. Yeah. Well, because this character, I mean, I think everyone loved Saul on Breaking Bad. Everyone loved him, but you don't. But he was, you know, he was a side character, and so to focus a show on this guy, Bob, how do you humanize this guy?
I do what they write. I mean, I don't. You know, the process these guys went through to develop this character and the focus of the show is really interesting. And I don't know how many weeks it was, but it'd be neat if they could somehow take that apart, because they were initially talking about even a half-hour comedy, and they even talked about an idea that Saul is a lawyer, and every week we see a different client, and he settles it somehow. It's like almost like a murder mystery, you know. You remember that?
Yeah. Would you rather be doing that? What do you think?
Yeah. No, I'd rather be doing this, but maybe we do that one day.
Yeah. You get a bunch of different stand-up comics every day.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think I saw you right after you started shooting, and you seemed kind of fried. You were like, "This is really hard. Like, it's really intense."
It was hard. The first season especially was very, very hard. I mean, I have a lot of lines. Saul talks a lot. And but that was true right from the first time I played him on Breaking Bad. And I remember I've told this story, but getting the script, and as a comedy person, expecting that most of the monologues or sort of longer runs would get cut down to 1 or 2 lines, because it just, that's what happens in comedy. You know, you get the blue pages. So I kind of waited till I got the blue pages to start memorizing, and literally 1 word had changed. It was like a Monday would change to Wednesday, or it's a very minor thing. And I thought, okay, well, I don't know. Okay, I guess I got to learn this. And then that actually is what taught me about the character. And it's really true. I learn about the character the way you guys learn about it. I learn it from what they write, and then I have to sort of take it apart. And just in memorizing it, you know, you ask yourself, what is he doing? Who is he? Why would he talk this much? Where's he going with this? And you learn who he is. And so I learn about it not by inventing it, but by taking apart the work that these guys have spent so much time doing. And I'm sorry to hear it's so hard, but I also believe them that it was this hard, and I know they work so hard. And I've been in comedy rooms, and we force ourselves. I did a show called Mr. Show. You know about it.
Yes, of course I do.
But, well, hey, look.
One of the great sketch shows of all time.
We took comedy more seriously than you should take it. And we worked hard, but nothing compared to what these guys do. So, yeah, so I just unpacked that script as best I can.
And then, Race, what did you know about Kim when you auditioned for the show? Did you have any idea?
No.
You didn't have anything?
No, no one is, and they know this. Well, of course they know they did this. The auditions were, the sides were different. The sides being the pages you get of a script that's what you're auditioning with. And we didn't want the pages leaked out there, understandably. So when you started the audition process with the amazing Sharon Bialy and Sherry Thomas and Russell Scott over there, the casting directors, they had written fake sides with attributes that they thought about that would be Kim's, but totally separate. Like, I think the first one was like a cop.
She was a cop.
She was a really tired cop who, on her last...
She was busting her sister.
Busting for prostitution.
That's
and
right.
like meth, yeah.
That's right.
And I'm like really tired and coming...
It was a little heavier.
It was super heavy. And I just remember, you know, and you knew that they told you this wasn't the real name or the real script, the real character name, but you have to play what's there to show them that you are, you know, good at your job. You have to assign yourself to the task at hand. And so, yeah, I played this cop who's like, it says really tired on her last shift, and then they ask her to just roll by this one alley, and it turns out to be her sister that she thought she was paying her tuition.
Right.
And she's really a prostitute doing drugs. And so, yeah, the stakes were like up here. And I just remember Sharon was like, right, that's appropriate for this scene, but they would like you to like
sparkle more.
Bring it. She was like, do it a little more. She's like, when you pull the gun on your sister, it's a little more like, hey. I was like, that seems weird, but I actually had a blast. It was literally like doing an acting like weekend workshop where you just did it every way to Sunday, and she thought that they would appreciate that too, because they love. Michael McKean has said this in interviews too. These guys love actors in a way that you feel so respected.
Well, it's something, because we have to go to take a quick commercial break, but what I do want to say is this show is like a masterclass in acting. Like, everyone in the show is flawless, but we'll get to that. We have cast interviews, crew from the set, later an exclusive sneak peek of next week's all-new episode of Better Call Saul that you're not going to want to miss. We'll be right back with our first ever Talking Saul.
When we find Jimmy in his cushy new office and everything to his liking, but the one restriction he's given is that he's not to turn off this light switch, which we've all seen those light switches, and there is this temptation to flip it. But Jimmy, we watch him do it, and it's just this small act of rebellion, but I think it's so symbolic of the kind of character he is. And it's a wonderful callback, I think, to the teaser where we see the SG was here graffiti. It's a fun bookend for that episode and reminds us what Jimmy McGill and Saul Goodman are made of.
Welcome back to Talking Saul. I'm Chris Hardwick. That was executive producer Melissa Bernstein on Jimmy's switch scene. Peter's here, Vince is here, Bob is here, Ray is here. So are the switch scene and the emergency exit scene connected?
I think so. I think there's got to be some connection between the two. And you realize you're looking at two different guys. One guy is named Jimmy McGill at the end of the show with the light switch that can't be switched. The guy at the beginning is some guy named Gene. I mean, obviously it's the same guy, but is it really? And look how far apart they are in what they are ready and willing to do. One guy's too afraid to touch the panic bar on the door and get out because the cops will be called. And it's how the mighty have fallen, so to speak. You know.
Yeah, because Bob, you said something before the show that I thought was interesting, which you said everyone always asks the questions like, when does he get to Saul? When do you get to, and you go, it's kind of irrelevant because he's this other guy like flashing way forward in the future. That's where he's going, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many people actually are motivated by that question so much anymore. People who watch the show is like, when is he going to be Saul? I do see it sometimes, but isn't it about so much more at this point? And also there's a sort of a feeling of like, well, how does he become Gene? And what is Gene up to? Because we've gotten to know him now that these guys have chosen to see him a little bit more in this second season. I personally as a fan, and I do watch it with some distance and perspective, that has to do with certain problems I have with my brain. And I don't know which lobe is missing, but one of the lobes went missing. But I just don't know about the notion of it all being about him becoming Saul anymore. That's me.
It's kind of nice to have that bonus information in your head, but it doesn't, the show is completely standalone. It's just, oh, go, in this other show, he's this guy, but really finding out who he is here. Oh, by the way, does the switch go to anything?
I think somewhere in the world a random stranger dies.
Oh, it's like the box. Yeah, it's like the box.
Opposite of Miracle on 34th Street.
But then delicious jelly beans appear in Jimmy's desk. So that's going to be the central dramatic problem of it. You know, oh, I want some jelly beans, but someone's going to die.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the fact that you just said that, some blogger's going to be like, I'm on to a big scoop, and that's going to be, yeah, it's going to be on Cinema Blend or something. Peter, why start each season with Gene?
You know, it gives us a wraparound, a feeling of like a context for the whole show, that everything this guy does is all going to end up in ashes. You know, everything he's building, all the, especially the relationship he's building with Kim, who knows where it's going to end up, and it's going to end up badly.
Is that dangerous, though, from a writing standpoint, where people go, but yes, none of this means anything because that's where he ends up?
It's incredibly dangerous. It's totally scary, but I think we have faith that the interesting thing is the journey, not the result.
Yeah.
And also it opens up a lot of other questions, which is what is Gene gonna do? Is there more to that story? And when you see that little graffiti, SG was here, you think maybe there's a little bit more to this guy than just the husk of a man that we saw in a Cinnabon.
Maybe a little ember is still burning.
What did that mean for you, Bob? SG was here.
Oh, I think it means exactly what they said. There's some part of that guy who is remembering a time when he was a powerful or feeling like going with that thing called flow that they reference now as like you're working at, you know, you're sort of forgetting your existential dilemma by being active in a way that's rewarding to you. And so he's remembering that he was some version of himself that felt right, at least for a time. And I can't imagine he isn't thinking, what does that mean for me? That I did kind of know who I was. I thought I did.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be great for a while.
And it sort of represented like being trapped in the dumpster room was sort of like he's in prison. Like his life is he's in this weird sort of prison of whoever this character is now. And is the goal that slowly, are you going to start feeding more into that, or is that just kind of bonus information at the top of the episodes?
Well, it feels like kind of a bonus to me, I would think. What would you say?
We'll see where it goes. It's,
Well, now it's time to see how carefully you guys have paid attention to tonight's episode of Better Call Saul. We have a quiz to take live when we come back. More interviews from the set, plus a sneak peek of next week's all-new episode of Better Call Saul. But first, it's time for the quiz. May the best fan win in 5, 4, 3, 2, quiz. Talking Saul. I'm Chris Hardwick. Back with Peter Gould, Vince Gilligan, Bob Odenkirk, Ray Seahorn. So just a couple people are reacting to Saul and Kim's relationship. Victor, this is from Adam Mike 10 on Twitter. Victor and Giselle drank a gallon of tequila and are not hungover. Damn, boy. YY Hymnal says, shipping Jimmy and Kim. MD Hughes 03 says, can we make Slippin' Kimmy a thing now? That seems to be a thing that people are excited about. You took that up pretty well in the episode, you guys. Why is Kim so good at scamming, do you think?
It's an interesting question. I mean, and Tom Schnauz, who wrote this one and directed it, we had a lot of great conversations on set about, is this behavior she's ever done before? Is this totally new? And how does that happen? I've always thought that Kim's affection for Jimmy and their very genuine and real, authentic relationship they have with each other is not because her head is in the sand. She loves him not in spite of who he is. She loves him knowing everything he is. And I can't imagine it's the first time she's witnessed a con or been aware of a con. These are just my opinions. I don't know. But and then I also think there's a whole beautiful world of background that I continue to build with jigsaw pieces as I go of like where did Kim come from when she entered into this world too? Because the way the scene is written, I do like Bob says. I learn from reading the words, and they're so well crafted and meticulously crafted, and there are no rewrites. You dive in, and you take these pieces to help you learn this character. I'm like, well, she not only goes along with it, she's pretty good at it. And so you play that, and you let yourself discover what that means about you.
If only there were two guys here who created that character that could give you the exact backstory. What do they think? I mean, I guess this is for anyone on the couch. What is the reason that you think the scam sparks the hooking up?
Me?
Yeah.
These guys. I mean, I feel like you enter some kind of weird pact if you run a scam on somebody.
You
do. I mean, the fact
strangely
that she says,
So Jimmy and Marco were...
Well,
interesting.
I think it's like dancing.
Yeah.
It's like dancing, isn't it?
It's like they're like Astaire and Rogers. You know, they make beautiful music together.
It is. It's a dance. And for me in the
It's
scene,
like improv.
it is. It is like improv. And then I feel like the scene at the pool when they do kiss, that more important than the kiss is the look before it. There's a negotiation between them, in my mind, that we're going to do this, and we're coming at it from a different place. But it is sparked by the adrenaline that happens, but also of a taking off masks thing, which you see in the nail salon scenes and a lot of other places. I feel like when they're in that space where they are truly themselves, something gets sparked.
Was your chemistry immediate when you guys first started working together? Did you have any time to get to know each other before you started working, or did they just drop? That seems very obvious. How much time did you have when you guys got hired?
It was awesome. I mean, a number of excellent actresses were auditioned for the part, and we worked together to see, where the chemistry was, and we had great chemistry right away. Thanks. She's the best.
Didn't you guys go take a trip up to Santa Fe?
Yeah.
Well, we had to because it was very strange because I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
Because I had lost my voice. I'm so wary of the season starting now because the first season, I mean, bad stuff happened to me like right away. I lost my voice like a week before. It's probably stress and stuff, but I mean, I really lost it.
But it's also crazy dry there. And then, like you said, you decided to wait till the last second to memorize your lines.
No, you know why I lost
that.
You know why I lost my voice? I swear to God, I know what I did. I know I got mad in traffic.
Oh, you did say that. He was like, I was yelling, and I was like, which scene was that? He's like, in traffic.
and that had to be it, that I stressed my voice out, and then on top of everything else. But anyhow, for the first 3 weekends, I really had to shut down.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do, and we would drive up to Santa Fe, and I would try not to talk, and I would write little notes. That's how we would converse. So she was kind enough to hang out with me while I didn't talk. I guess I'm easier to hang out with.
That's not true. It just turned out perfect. He's right. We had just, there's something about both of us that is just not, forgive me, just not slick. There's nothing put on. We are what we are, and we're like that in real life. And so we had a great time even at the audition, and it was great. But then, yeah, when we had to shoot that cigarette smoking scene in the parking garage, it was one of my favorite scenes. And you guys had just told us it's about a 10-year plus relationship that we want to convey with one sentence that's split between two of us and me fixing a trash can and a cigarette that changes hands. Bob asked me if I wanted to hang out that weekend, like, so we could get to just be in each other's presence a little bit. But he did say, like, but I'm not going to talk at all for about 4 hours. And it turned out to be amazing, because I didn't talk either, because I thought that would be rude. And then what happened is...
Would have been so rude.
People
are talking, keep your mouth shut.
It would just be me on a regular day with friends. But, no, but what happened is, it couldn't have been perfect. When you have to get past all your tricks to get to know somebody, to be clever and be funny and be interesting, and it's Bob Odenkirk, and I'm already like, holy crap, and you want to say things and you want to ask them questions. I had 50 questions, and it's all stripped away, and your adrenaline comes down, and your need to be cool comes down, and you get to what's really amazing about a 10-year relationship is when you can sit in quiet and not fill it. And then we got to play that on screen, and it could not have been better.
Well, coming up, we have a behind-the-scenes look at Jimmy's forever evolving wardrobe and what it means for his character. Also, an exclusive sneak peek of next week's all-new episode of Better Call Saul. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
People were saying Hamlin sucks and all that stuff, and I got a lot of heat on social media about it, which was fine, actually, because then in retrospect, when the worm turned in episode 9, I think that was a great reveal of shifting sands. You know, that goes back to the whole idea, like, I never thought Howard was bad to begin with, and I also wasn't sure where it was going to go in the beginning of the season. But, you know, Vince and Peter had been very clear about saying, you know, not to play the twirly mustache thing, not to lean on that sort of thing. And also, even if you are a bad guy, quote unquote, I don't think bad guys ever think they are. You know, it's all about a point of view. And Howard's just running his company. So it was nice to sort of be absolved a bit at the end. And it sets up new planks of relationships with Kim and with Chuck and with Jimmy. So it sort of is a reset in a way for season 2.
Talking Saul and Chris Hart. That was Patrick Fabian on how fans reacted to his character Howard. We're back with Peter, Vince, Bob, and Ray. So now it's time for a poll question. Go to TalkingSaul.com/SaulGood and let us know. Should Jimmy forgive Chuck? Yes, brotherly love wins out. No, Chuck is a bad brother. He was very mean to Jimmy, and we like Jimmy. What the hell, Chuck? Well, everyone's voting. Bob will...
What a scene would that be? Listen, the audience says I should forgive.
We did one after show and decided we got to take this in a whole new way. Also,
wow, look at no.
Huge hand for Michael McKean, who's unbelievable.
Amazing.
I mean, everyone.
Wait till you see this season.
Well,
holy cow.
That's what's, you know, it's just one that's part of. Oh, it's locked now. It looks like a. No, 86%.
Oh,
you should not.
Sure.
You should not forgive him. You should not forgive him for what he did.
It was painful, man. That was a hard
torturous scene.
Yeah.
Did you know it was coming out? How aware of you?
Oh my God, I'm not aware at all. I'm completely clueless. Not only am I clueless before I do it, I'm clueless after. Because seriously, I feel like, you know, well, you know where I come from with sketch comedy and stuff, but I kind of had to make up how to do this job for myself when I got it. And one of the simple thoughts that I work from are, you know, just to be in the moment, you know. And I've done a lot of things in my career where I directed and produced and wrote. And I just think I'm a much better actor when I'm not helping in any way and not aware from outside of what my character may be doing, will do, in any way have that bigger picture in my mind. And so that's sort of a trick for me to be a better actor. So I really don't read ahead. I don't read the outlines when they send them, which they don't always, and there's no reason to because I don't read them. And and I don't want to know where it's going. And then I have so much that oftentimes after I'm done, I'm really working on the next moment. So when I watch the shows, I'm very surprised oftentimes by what happens. I'm like, oh, I didn't remember that went to that. Because I really try not to think of the bigger picture when I'm doing it. It's just, what is the scene today? What does he know right now? That's it. What does he want in this moment? And that's all I want to be consumed by.
Well, are we going to learn more? I mean, by the way, when you watch Michael McKean, he's so flawless in everything
so
he
good.
does.
He's
And
so
especially, you know, as Chuck, are we going to see more interaction between Jimmy and Chuck this season?
I think it is safe to say. You're going to see a fair bit more.
The ties between these two brothers go deep, but that doesn't mean they're going to be. It's going to be easygoing.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting too. 86%
say no
because it's blood is thicker than water.
But you guys,
but they're rooting for Jimmy, and
they are. But
the
the thing that you were always amazing at Breaking Bad in this show too is that you start leading the audience in one direction, and you think. So I think, well, I'm totally going to side with Jimmy. His brother was being a complete dick.
Yeah.
But then when you understand that Chuck is basically this kind of lawful good character and he's a very by-the-book guy, and he starts explaining himself, you go, oh, okay, I kind of get from his point of view.
Yeah, if you listen to his argument in that moment, it makes a lot of sense. And if you've ever worked really hard to achieve anything and struggled to get somewhere, which it sounds like he did, he feels like he put in tons of hard effort, you get where he's coming from. He has a point.
Yeah, which they always do in their arguments. So both sides always have a point. You know, they're both intelligent points.
And
There's no, like,
McKean-
obvious idiot or something.
McKean delivers it so well. It's
So
just
good.
amazing.
Are there a lot of? I know there's a couple Breaking Bad Easter eggs in the scam scene. We kind of gave one away.
Well, we gave one away, which is of course Ken Wins.
Ken Wins.
Ken
Yeah.
Wins,
So
was
good.
the scam, played by Kyle Bortheimer, who just did a wonderful job and knocked it out of the park. He is the supreme scumwad. In that scene, he's
a sweet
he's
guy
just
in real
great.
life.
And such
Nothing
a sweet
like
guy
that in real life.
And one, I don't know if anyone picked up on.
There's another one.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Zafiro Onejo, which is of course the tequila that they're
tequila.
drinking. That goes all the way back to when Gus poisoned Donaldio.
And he poisoned himself, and he had to very ritualistically throw it up.
That's right. I got to write that scene, and so it was
That's
kind
right,
of fun.
you
It was
wrote
fun.
that.
It was
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
To
Does
bring,
that mean-
fun to bring the tequila back?
Does that mean is that related to blue meth? The name.
Sapphire.
Sapphire.
in Spanish.
Yeah.
Zafiro Añejo. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so I imagine you'll sprinkle these out throughout the.
Nope, that's it.
That was it. All right, done.
It's all downhill from here.
Before we go to break, I want to show you guys. This is a Better Call Saul T-shirt that we have here. This is you can catch up on the first season of the show. This is now available also on DVD. The first season. Both these are available at BetterCallSaulStore.com. And the best part is that you're getting a shirt and you're getting a DVD, and everyone is going to get these. They're just clapping because I'm giving them stuff. They don't really care about me as a human being. Right now, I'm a vessel of giving, but that's fine. I will accept your fake love. We'll be right back right here on Talking Saul. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bryan. I'm the costume designer of Better Call Saul. Here's Jimmy's closet. These are the suits that he wore when he was masquerading as a Matlock-type lawyer in a nursing home. This is basically his go-to wear. He had a crazy assortment of ties. Then he gets this idea that he wants to imitate Hamlin, and this was a suit that he copies. Then he gets a job with a legit law firm. So we did beautiful gray suits that you would see in a high-end law firm that lawyers would wear. This is his University of American Samoa sweatshirt, the online law school that he went to. It's got like a palm tree in 1979, which is not really a very long time for a law school to be in business. So there you have it, how we evolved Jimmy to Saul, or Saul to Jimmy, depending on the way you look at it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Welcome back to Talking Saul. I'm Chris Hardwick. That was costumer Jennifer Bryan on the evolution of Jimmy's look. We took the little creepy doll hands on the wood plank from Talking Dead, and last night offhand I go, oh, for Talking Saul, we should put little briefcases in their hands. And damn it if our amazing prop person, Corey, didn't find those and put those on there. So thank you very much, Corey. I'm here with Peter, Vince, Bob, and Ray. So obviously carrying over from Breaking Bad, wardrobe is immensely important to you guys as a storytelling tool. So how have you woven it into, I don't mean that as a bad pun, but how have you woven it into the show?
Well, it's just, wardrobe, props, the car Jimmy drives, all these things speak to the character that he possesses. And Jennifer is just the best. She is so wonderful. Her attention to detail is second to none.
And we color code things. I mean, I don't think it's a big secret that sometimes when a character's wearing red on the show, it means something special about them. And Jennifer is so creative about getting that little touch of red in different spots.
Yeah.
If you look very closely, sometimes a character has no red at all, and there's just a little spot, maybe on a shoe. And it's just, sometimes it's a clue for the audience to maybe take a look.
We dropped the ball last year because she had this great thing on the buckle on Jimmy's loafer. It was broken. She broke it, and then she laced it together. She wired it together with a paper clip, with a twisted paper clip. And we should have got a shot of that.
It's one of my favorite things. You can see it when he goes to the Kettleman's house and finally is busting them.
Yeah.
And he sits there, taking in what that means. You can see it in that.
You got to look real close.
He's fooling with
But
it.
I loved it. It's one of my favorite things ever.
And you're wearing Marie's favorite color, purple, today on the show, which is very nice.
That's right.
We have time for a fan to come up and ask questions. Please come up here and ask your question, sir. Hello. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
What is your
Love
name
the
and
show.
what is your question?
It's for Bob. Bob, so you and Jonathan are awesome on, together on the show, like
Thank you,
tense,
man.
funny. It's great. But I was wondering, what is like one of your favorites, or you have a favorite off-camera moment?
Off camera with Jonathan. Naked wrestling. I could do with a little less of it. 3 hours a week would be enough. Jonathan, the funnest thing with Jonathan, and it's true too of Michael McKeon, is sitting in the makeup trailer and playing music or talking about movies, because these guys both have been in everything. You put a record on and they're like, I was there, I was in the back of the room when they recorded this. Wait, quiet, that's me laughing. You hear that guy coughing? That's me. But there's nothing, really, and I'm not exaggerating, there's almost nothing in music or Broadway or film or TV that you can play or reference that they don't have some personal connection to, that they can tell you a story. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
So what was
Thank
your
you.
name, first
Daniel.
of all? Daniel, I have a very special present for you.
Oh,
We do this on
wow.
Talking, never do this here. This is a waterproof clamshell phone right here. Now, you look like kind of a millennial, so when you text, you're going to have to poke the number 2 a bunch to get letters, and that's how you're going to text people. And also, all customers get cucumber water.
Yeah.
So this is a little cucumber water for you. There you go. Thank you so much for being here. No, come here. Thank you so much. Coming up, we have an exclusive sneak peek of next week's all-new episode of Better Call Saul. We'll be right back. I'm going to hug that guy. Welcome back to Talking Saul. During the break, we asked you before this show, did you know what a Chicago sunroof was? Your choices were yes, I lead a depraved life, or no, and I'll never be the same. And you, the fans, overwhelmingly voted for no. You said you didn't, so now you do. So when you go do it, make sure there's not kids in the back seat. That's what we learned from this show once and for all.
Important rule to live by.
Where did this come from? Chicago sunroof.
You know, it's just the old
Be
thing.
honest.
The old, write what you know. It's it's a good philosophy when you're, Did we have the action or the
We had
name
the action. We had the action. We knew that when Jimmy was really upset way back when, that's what he would do.
I hope that comes back at some point.
Just,
Yeah, for sure. Don't you think so? At some point, he just has a little bit of a break, and then it happens, and he goes to.
It's a strange scene to focus on, hoping that it comes back.
Well, I'm really excited about it, and I'm glad people are doing it on television now. It's time for a sneak peek of what to expect on next week's Better Call Saul. Check this out. Hey!
What are you doing here? I work here.
Oh, small world. So is this the parking lot for the police station?
It is.
You don't know if they validate, do you?
Why don't you pull around over there? We'll have a little talk.
So I also want an extra huge hand for Jonathan Banks, who was so amazing on the show. And what can you tell us about the guy who uses the name Price, basically? The guy driving the...
Mark Brooks is one of the funniest guys, not counting this gentleman right here, one of the funniest guys. I think it was referenced in one of the quizzes earlier. He came to our attention, well, actually he came to us through Sharon and Sherry, our wonderful casting folks. But then we found out he did these YouTube videos where he would go around the country to different small market TV stations, medium market TV stations, and present himself as this yo-yo master. Who would K. Strauss,
Zim Zam. That's what it was. Zim Zam Yo-Yo Man.
Do yourself a favor if you have not seen this. Look it up immediately. I mean, watch the end of this show first.
But this idea that you put so many people on the show in this dramatic environment who were genuinely, I mean, great comedians like Bill Burr, Lavelle Crawford, and Joe DeRosa. I saw Josh Fadem in there too, and Michael McKean, and then Ed Begley Jr. and Bob. Like, what is it about comedians in particular?
I think we both hew to this philosophy. I think if you can be funny and a good actor, you can be dramatic and a good actor. I don't think the reverse is necessarily always true. But if you can be, I think, and I say this not as a non-performer myself, but I really believe that comedy is the harder of the two to play. So.
I would agree. We have 45 seconds left. What can we expect for the rest of season 2? Just whet the appetite of the audience.
Oh, it's going to be explosive. It's going to be pretty stunning. You're going to hear. You've heard of Chicago Sunroof. You're going to hear about a lot more.
You're going to
very excited to hear that in a weird way.
You're going to learn a new phrase.
Yeah, you're going to learn some new phrases very soon.
Well, go ahead, Vince.
Well, you're going to see some. You might just see some other. We might have some visitors from Breaking Bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We might have visitors from Breaking Bad, but thank you to these visitors right here, Peter and Vince and Bob and Ray. Better Call Saul airs every Monday. Join us April 18th after the season 2 finale for another episode of Talking Saul. Stick around for an encore of Saul, and tomorrow go to TalkingSaul.com. I hope we get to do this again. Thank you.